welcome to what I believe will be our last video legislative update of the 2011 session. This week, well, we're about to embark on our last 5 days of the session, and in the last 7 days we have accomplished a significant amount in terms of legislation, and as is often the case, the most controversial bills are left to the end. And in this case, the Senate has passed out in the last week the all-important transportation bill, which will be more resources than have been put into transportation in the last 25 years. There were a number of issues, and at the end, most of those were ironed out. I'm happy to say that it passed, and it passed with the all-important no new debt component. So I think on both sides, everyone is pleased with what we've done for transportation. The same goes for higher education. We supported the governor's plan, his reform measures for higher education that will change the funding formula and hopefully address the very critical issue of access and affordability for higher education. And what's interesting is if you ask most young students who are Virginia students what they believe is important about higher ed, they will all tell you, and actually surveys have shown about 90% of students believe that they will not have success in life and success in business if they don't have a college degree. And at the same time, only 35% of men and women, young students in Virginia, actually ever go to a 2-year or 4-year college program. So hopefully this legislation will help move us in a different direction and make college certainly more accessible and more affordable. The third big accomplishment of this session has been the budget. And as many people know, we have a 2-year budget process. So the 2010-2012 budget is currently in place. And what we have addressed now is certain issues that were remaining from last year where we had some dispute or otherwise had disagreement, or now have new resources that we can channel into different areas of the budget. And so currently the House has its version, the Senate has its version, and the governor has what he had proposed as his amendments. Most people are interested in 2 issues in our district, and that is judges and the Virginia retirement system. And for purposes of judges, in Fauquier and now Winchester, we have judicial vacancies. And what happens this budget year, this budget week, will make the difference in what happens in the next year. Currently, the Senate version funds all judicial vacancies. The House version does not, and the governor's version actually funds a number of them. I think it's 11 vacancies. And so that's an issue that will have to be addressed in conference, and I can tell you for those of us who have districts where our dockets are jammed and we're really suffering, we will be working as hard as we possibly can to get that funding back in. The other issue is the Virginia retirement system, and many people know that I actually voted against the budget last year for the reason that we had deferred payments to VRS, that is, taken money away and spent it in other categories. We put $100 million back in this year and accelerating that repayment. That's in the Senate's version, and I'm proud that we're doing that. And hopefully, with each successive year, we can work harder to make that right. With the current budget, I have to say, while there were some issues that I still had concerns with, for example, VRS and not paying everything back, I voted for it because I think in total it moves us in the right direction. And this is a critical interim fix that I think we have to make to this current budget. And in addition to the issues that I mentioned, the Senate budget puts a lot of money back in. We put $100 million in additional money for K-12, $100 million in additional money for higher education over the original budget. So we've done our hard work now, and now it's just a question of what the House and the Senate and conference can agree on. And then finally, today, I just left the Senate floor about 15 minutes ago, we passed a very important property rights constitutional amendment. And many people who have followed this session are aware that that was an issue that brought great controversy, and I'm happy to say that it passed overwhelmingly in the Senate. And property rights is an important issue, the issue of eminent domain. It's become an increasingly difficult matter for businesses in Virginia, in particular small businesses, as utilities and others have had the opportunity to come in and condemn property and not make them whole. So I'm happy to say that that just passed the Senate floor. So thank you for your interest. If you wish to get in touch with our office, we are always very anxious to hear from you. You can reach us by phone at 804-698-7527, or you can email us at district27@va.senate.gov, and we're always happy to hear from you. Thank you again.